And we are live. Yes, I can see myself.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. We are having a really beautiful conversation today about postpartum care because the truth is, we see and still see a lot of postpartum depression and a lot of moms that aren't truly nourished and taken care of. And that's the topic that we're going to talk about, and we're going to spill some secrets. So grab a cup of coffee or a tea or maybe a hot cocoa and enjoy this beautiful little hour that we're going to talk about and support. And if you have any questions, you can always set them in the chat and we will be gladly to answer them. So a little bit who everybody is. I am Evangelia. I'm a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, herbalist, and healer, and I provide support and guidance in the postpartum area, but also in your general health. And today is all about postpartum, so we're going to talk about that. And always through holistic lifestyle, non toxic lifestyle, so essential oils, herbs, nourishment, grounding, self care, etc. And my favorite, and I love her so much, companion today, a friend of mine and dear colleague, also is Jodie. Let's introduce her.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Eva. My name is Jodie Solberg, and I am a certified master hypnotherapist. I'm a hypnobirthing educator as well as a prenatal bonding facilitator. And what I do is I help busy professional mamas to be able to learn how to speak into their own subconscious mind as well as into their children and really break those generational cycles. And a lot of that is overcoming things like trauma, fears, anxieties. And like Eva was saying, there's so many postpartum challenges. There's way too many postpartum challenges that women go through. And so we're here to help educate and support and help with some of that prevention and early intervention of those postpartum issues so you can have a beautiful birth and postpartum experience. That is definitely the goal, right? So calm, peace, comfort, and bonding time with your baby. And so, Eva, I know is one of your favorite topics because this is a huge part of what you do. And I know in hypnobirthing, we do talk about, so we go all the way from, all the stages of pregnancy to birth to that beautiful postpartum period. And so, why don't you start off? I'm on that kind of mental and behavioral health background side, and you're on the or that holistic physical health and wellness side. And so let's talk from your point of view. What is important for people to know about that postpartum period?
First of all, it's a sacred window of the first 40 days. If you truly look up in different cultures, including my culture, Greek culture, we do stay at home for the first 40 days. It's not that, you are not allowed to go outside. It's just because you need to take truly your rest for yourself. In Chinese medicine, they say like 5 weeks in the bed, 5 weeks on the bed, and 5 weeks around the bed. So that
Mhm.
truly means to really just be lazy. So I'm going to say the word lazy because society says, like, you need to get back up on the horse, you need to get back into that postpartum body, etc., etc. But the truth truly is you don't. And also because somebody tells you you don't need to ask for help, it is because you can, doesn't mean you should do it alone. And that's when you say, like, it takes a village to raise a child. And that's
Mhm.
true. It's not, you're not only you. We don't get a blue book or a pink book and this is how you're going to do. And a great example that I always give by this is, when you go and have your first date, you don't marry somebody straight away, right? So you're going to have your date, and then you get excited, and then you get engaged, and you're planning for a wedding. So as you're planning for this wedding, you want the best perfect dress, you want the best buffet, you want the best everything because it's a special moment, right? It's a special occasion. It's a one time in a life occasion. And then you get married, you get into this beautiful home, And then you want to expand your family. So you are making the nursery, the softest blankets, the most beautiful clothes for your child. And then you go to the birth. So you're preparing again for the birth. Like, do you want to have it as Jamie's going to do, like in the woods? That's so beautiful. Do you want to have a water birth? Do you going to have it to the hospital? Will it be a C-section? Will it be everything? Everybody again plans it out. But the truth is, the ball hits hard when your baby is in the physical world, because now you are responsible for a child that is 24/7 your responsibility. You can back out of it because it needs you and you need your child. So, but you haven't planned it out. You maybe have an emergency C-section, so you have an open wound. You have a 22 centimeter wound inside of the placenta that isn't visible, but it's also a big wound that needs to heal. So you need to rest and recover. Then you have maybe a vaginal birth. So maybe you have like stitches underneath, or maybe you have tearing. So everything that comes up, you weren't prepared because you didn't nourish and prepare yourself. And also, once you give birth, you're not really ready to be in the kitchen and really make these home cooked meals that are going to help you with your digestion. Because after a birth, and especially if you have, for example, a C-section, the first couple of weeks, you need to take foods that are easy on a digestive system. So you can't go just like, okay, I can make a meal, but I'm going to take McDonald's for example. I'm just giving this example because somebody did, a client of mine. I was like, okay, it's okay first once, but you really need to take care. And as a woman becomes a mother, because she's birthing a mother, she needs to find her identity. She needs to find this new unit as a family. So there is also a lot of times miscommunication with the partner because they didn't have set boundaries straight. Maybe she's crying, but she doesn't know why she's crying, and she can't really explain it. And your partner don't know, so he reacts instead of, okay, I'm also a new father. I need to adapt my role as well to that. So there comes a lot of new puzzle pieces that we just can't put them right into their places because we are not aware, because we never experienced it. And a lot of the times and I can say this from a personal experience, the first time I thought I had it all, but I got postpartum depression. I couldn't breastfeed my child because I was depressed. I had a miscommunication with my partner. I had stitches. I had so many things, and really, the shit really hit the fan the first time. And we don't really are aware of that because we always think that's not going to be me. My pregnancy is great. I'm going to have like the best birth, and I'm going to have the best baby that isn't going to cry, that doesn't going to have colic, and etc. But the truth is exactly the opposite. And the second time's moms, they truly understand because they went through it the first time. And that's what we truly want to prevent, because prevention, and this is not just in postpartum, but it's in everything. Prevention is key. And that key opens to a portal that prevents you from experiencing these negative beliefs and malnutrition and physical pain, emotional pain, trauma, all these kind of things. We want to prevent that for you. And we're saying that through our experiences, and we're still seeing this around. Like, if you see I'm just giving a percentage of the postpartum depression, it's like 75% has postpartum depression, and 25% isn't even diagnosed or are aware that they have postpartum depression. That's a huge percentage. And then we have like society and media and social media having like, the body, and she's like, look at her. That's a big no because everybody's different. Everybody's path is different. Every child is different. Every experience of childbirth is different. So we can't, and it's always a no to compare yourself to somebody else. And you are allowed to be lazy. You are allowed to rest. It's essential to rest and recover, because when you are nourished and prepared for that postpartum by having that plan in place, you will reflect that in your physical, emotional aspect. And also, you will see that in a woman after 40 years. If she was really taken care of in that sacred window, you will see she still has that amazing glow even 40 years after.
That's beautiful. Yeah, there's so much, like you said, planning often that goes into the birth, but then it stops. And so that is really, really key to, like you said, add in those pieces for prevention and that early intervention so we can bring those numbers so far down. That's one of the reasons why I really wanted to dive into things like hypnobirthing and prenatal bonding that can bring those postpartum rates so much lower of postpartum mental health issues. And I say that because most of the time we think postpartum depression because that's all anybody ever talks about. I've even talked to nurses who said that's all they were taught in school. But when I talk to
Exactly.
psychiatrists, for example, I had a conversation with a psychiatrist a couple of days ago. And those of us on the mental health side and the behavioral health side understand that there's, yes, postpartum depression. There's also postpartum anxiety, postpartum OCD, postpartum PTSD, postpartum panic disorder, postpartum psychosis. And I've had clients who've had all of those. And it's so, so key to know, like you said, there is such higher rates, especially because half go unreported or undiagnosed of people who are dealing with postpartum mental health challenges. And of those women, half of their partners are also going to get some like postpartum depression, for example. And so when we can plan and when we can prepare and when we can really focus on that time together and to how to support one another, how to bond all as a unit, and how to plan out and take care of ourselves in that postpartum period, it makes such a huge difference. And Eva, I know you're going to love this because everything that you talked about the first 40 days, about different cultures around the world and traditional Chinese medicine practices. We actually teach about that in hypnobirthing class. Like it's all in there. Yeah. So, but it's brief. Obviously, right? That's just a small part of the classes that we teach, and so we bring about that awareness and give some recommendations of some things that they can do to nourish and nurture and nest and bond and take care of themselves. And we also need more support than that, right? Obviously, what I do is, just up until that birth time in those classes, and it's the education and the self advocacy and empowerment and planning and all of those things that can be really helpful in preventing birth trauma and postpartum issues and medical interventions and all of those things, because they're preparing their bodies, they're preparing themselves emotionally and mentally, physically, spiritually, all the way around, and they need support. And that's why I love so much what you do, because you offer that really beautiful support, but then also very practical strategies and tips and herbs and tinctures and teas and all of the things that are going to be more nourishing and going to be supportive of that healing process. Because like you said, that is a process. And, we think of that word lazy as like a 4-letter bad word. We think of it
Exactly.
as,
That's
you know,
why I was saying it, because when we heard the word lazy, it's like, no, 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 I'm not lazy. No, you are allowed. It's
uh-huh.
essential to be lazy. I'm giving you the
Yeah.
permission to be lazy.
And you were just growing a human. And now you are full
Exactly.
time taking care of and nourishing a human. And, in addition to yourself, a new human. And so that there's nothing of the bad connotation to lazy that we think of about that.
No, not at all.
Yes,
Not at
you
all.
are doing such important work. And so you get to relax, you get to, just take some time. And, we don't have to have this pressure that we get from society all the time to be productive, to achieve. You are being very productive, and you just spent the better part of a
Nine
year
months
producing
productive.
a person. Yes, exactly. So it's very, very productive. So yeah, shifting that mindset is key when we're talking about that postpartum period of, not having that pressure and expectation on ourselves and all those shoulds. Like you said, you should bounce right back and get right back to work and get your body back. All of these things that are not serving and supporting us when it comes to comparison or guilt and that shame and that pressure. So that part is
Definitely.
just as important as any other piece to your recovery.
It truly is. And you said the word like shame and the guilt. A lot of mamas still, even, if they have like their kids 1 to 10 years old, even 50, sometimes have the guilt like, I'm not a good mom. I'm not doing enough. You know, your child came to you even before you knew you were pregnant,
Mhm.
because it was the divine, the spiritual realm that you were going to be the mom for that child. That child already chose you to be your mom.
Mhm.
So you are doing the best that you can, and you're doing an amazing job. Like making a whole human 9 months. That's a lot of heavy lift and burden for your body. More blood pumping, more lungs, everything double hearts, double lungs, double kidneys. It takes so much toll on our bodies, and we think it's like okay, but truth is, once you become a mother, it's the most divine time, but also the most challenging time. And especially if you, I will give you a really stupid example. um, when both of my children, I got both physical birthed, so vaginal, but they
Mhm.
both had jaundice. So the first time I held my first child was after 5 days. My second child after 8 days. So that gives you like a lot of anxiety, because you just birthed your child and you're not allowed to hold it. And then you go home, and I told my husband, even my husband, and even including myself, the first 40 days, nobody will kiss this child. And you can tell me I'm a bitch, to be really, really open. But the truth is, their immune system is so fragile. My immune system is so fragile because I'm open, even if it's a C section or it's vaginal birth. You're open to infections, bacteria, everything. So I am okay with, and that's the beauty of it. It's if you really also search like the brain waves.
Mhm.
Once a mother gives birth, her brain is totally different, and it's so connected. Even when your child is out of the womb, and your mother instincts kick in, and that's totally normal. And if you say like, I don't want you to kiss my child, I don't want you to hold my child, for whatever the reason you don't feel comfortable with, that's okay. And
Mhm.
people need to respect that, because you just became a mom. You need to adapt as a mom role, but also provide and protect that child that can't protect itself. So it's not, you being disrespectful to your parents or your husband or your friends by saying, you know what, I don't want you to kiss my child or hold my child. I don't feel comfortable with that. And they shouldn't be offended by that.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, I've talked to a lot of clients about that. And, this comes up all the time. It came up a lot over, COVID and with everything that was going on in the last 4 years. And people were feeling guilty about wanting to separate and not have someone else hold their kids, or they said kiss their babies. And it is,
Sorry.
and it is
Thank you.
completely your decision. And so we would talk about things like, well, you can limit, visits to your home, or wear the baby, hold the baby, wear the
Exactly.
baby, put the baby in a carrier, in a sling on your body, so
Exactly.
they can peek, but they then can't hold or take the baby or try to. And then you don't feel as bad about that, because it isn't you saying, no, I'm not going to hand you my baby, because you're like, oh, no, he's sleeping, or, he's nice and cozy right
Exactly.
there. And so, there's strategies around that. There's a funny joke that we have in one of the hypnobirthing classes that talks about postpartum. That's like, don't let anyone in your house who isn't willing to cook and clean and do laundry. And so,
Exactly. That's
like,
that's that's a really good one. I will keep that
right?
in mind.
Yeah. So yeah, if they're not here for that, then yeah, they don't need to come over, because again, you need to protect and take care of yourself and that baby, and and this is a huge part of what we talk about in bonding and in hypnobirthing, is listening to those mommy intuition hits. That instinct is so important, not to override, to allow yourself to listen to your intuition as a mom and as a woman, and for your body and for your baby to be able to really learn to be connected and not override that connection. That is natural. It's there. We're designed to have that connection and that intuition. And so don't try to talk yourself out of it. To really honor and respect that is so important, and to honor and respect everything that you've been through together, because your baby goes through birth just like you do, and your bodies work together. And so it takes time to recover from that, for both of you, and to acclimate to this new life, right? This new role, this new space, because it is life changing for you. And obviously, it's brand new for them. And so I love that you talk about how important that is, to just guard and protect that space, and to really honor that intuition, because that is so strong and so vital too.
Yeah, it truly is. And that's why a lot of us, especially first time moms, they are truly not aware. And, you have that, like, I'm not going to get through that. And then, you experience that. And then it's like, oh, I really feel I'm crying. Like, in the middle of the night, you're crying and you're like, oh, I'm not a good mom. And, you're just fresh and having these wounds on everything. So it's really important to take your time to really bond with your child.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And there's one of yours.
Yes, there was my little one. He just came from soccer, so but he
Oh,
was
that's
going away and he was like hitting the lamp. So he was like, what did I do? And I was like, you can go.
it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay,
Oh,
it's okay. And the truth is, because we have a plan of having the birth that we have in mind, and then maybe you go and they tell you're trying for 2 3 4 hours, and it's getting really really dangerous for you and for your child, and then they tell you to have like an emergency c-section, and
mm-hmm.
then your anxiety goes through the roof. But if somebody really truly supported you, like this is what you want, but the truth is this can maybe come up, so you're aware of, okay, what am I going to do if this arises?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then if you're aware, you're not will experience that anxiety, because you talked about it
Mhm.
with somebody, you talked with an expert about it, so you know that there is a possibility that you will might have a c-section, because nobody wants a c-section, truth to be told.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you're, like you said, if you're informed, if you're educated, if you understand, and then it makes such a huge difference. You won't have the anxiety, you won't have the trauma. A lot of that trauma comes from feeling out of control and like things are being done to you and you're just not a part of the process. And so that's why, it's so important in hypnobirthing and prenatal bonding and the programs that I do for women before they have the babies. It's so key to really understand that and have, yes, your preferences, of course, have that vision for the birth that you want and all your preferences laid out and understand the different options and which you're going to be choosing, and to feel confident and calm be in the process, no matter what turn your birthing takes. And so,
Exactly.
can prepare you for, if you have a C-section, to still have a positive experience, to not have all the anxiety and the trauma. If you have to have, different interventions because there are special circumstances that are happening, like, to understand what that is, to be able to make that informed, empowered decision makes all the difference on the postpartum side, because then you don't
Absolutely.
have that lingering stress and anxiety and regret and, wishing that you'd known or understood, or just the trauma of, having this emergency surgery and not feeling you were a part of that process, a part of that decision making. And so, yeah, it is
Absolutely.
absolutely so important, if possible, on the front end, to prepare yourself for that postpartum period. Now, some of our people who are watching are already postpartum, and it's never too late. So that's the thing that's really important to know is, yes, best case scenario, if we can set you up for that success from the very beginning, that's a wonderful, wonderful
From
thing.
fertility to
Yep,
postpartum.
from
Yes.
all the way through. Yep, absolutely. If we can start at the beginning and support you all along the way, that is a wonderful thing. And if you already are postpartum, there's so much that you can still do to give yourself that rest and that recovery and nourishment and nurture your bond and your body. So there's so much that can still be done. So Eva, I would love for you to share about your programs and your services and what you offer.
Well, one of my offers is, as somebody truly wants, because it's not the same as with the fertility, because
Mhm.
fertility is really about tailor made. But again, postpartum, if you want to make a postpartum plan, I can make that as well as tailored for you. So it's done with you. It's like
Mhm.
€300, and it's like 2 3 hours. How many doesn't really matter to me. Is that we will set you up with a plan with the right resources and the right people around you, so you feel prepared.
Mm.
And then I have also my 5 day course that is really about, and Jodie have seen it, so she can share a little bit of it if she wants to. But it's really about the importance of why having a plan, the emotional aspects of preventing there, and I share about a letter to write to your partner, and your partner to as well to you as a new mother from a new father aspect. So it's really, I really like that exercise. Then day 3 is about our physical. And as I also joined with an amazing song, like, you're amazing just the way you are, because you are. And we really take care of the stitches, the C-section, herbs that really can calm you down. And then we go into day 4, that is about nutrition. So stews, kanjis, teas, that really help to detoxify from the medication that they gave you during and even sometimes after delivery. And then day 5 is the recap. And normally I have that on for a 179 USD dollars, but for today I'm going to offer that 50% off, so that will be around $98.
That's fantastic. Okay, make sure to put your links in the comments so that everyone can take advantage of that and can contact you. Yeah.
Yes.
And for me, I said a lot, of the, through fertility, like I said, we both work with people all the way from fertility through that postpartum and parenting on my end
And
too.
beyond.
And yeah, and beyond. And so, as a hypnotherapist, helping people with fertility and helping them with the postpartum, as well as hypnobirthing and prenatal bonding BA for the pregnancy itself. And so we love to team up because what we do is so complementary, because really, you know, the nutrition and the nurturing and that nourishment, things that can be calming, that can be healing for your body, and that whole process. And it's not just physical or mental, it's both, right? It's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. So it's about treating yourself as a whole person and really having a care team, people to support you in different areas that can help you holistically. And so, Eve and I are both a part of Alternative Healthcare Solutions, which is wonderful. I love that we're in that space together now too, and helping to educate and support women through every stage of this journey. And so I'll also put my link in the comments as well. I'll go ahead and pop that in here. You can find me, you can see it on the screen too, but you can find me at psychedupsuccess.com. And all of my programs are on there. So you can always book a free 30-minute consultation with me. And that allows you to be able to explore your different options for support. And you can see my programs on there with the prenatal bonding, with hypnobirthing, as well as my program for parents whose kiddos who are already here, or maybe you have an older child, like maybe you have your two. And so, someone who is looking to help with some of that transition with their children, with having the new baby come in, or maybe you're a little further along than that now and you're dealing with all the fun ages and stages from potty training to the teen angst years. So we can definitely check that out as well in the program. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Do you have a link where they can go that you want me to put up on the screen?
I will put it at the end. Yeah, no problem. They can book like a one-on-one, and they can even go into a mentorship if they desire to. And but just a one-on-one would really be great, so I can really see like what your challenges are, etc., and then we go from there.
Okay. Perfect. So we're going to make sure that Eva's links are under the video in the comments. So we'll get those all over. But I'm so glad that we were able to have this conversation today. I think it's such an important one because, again, it's often neglected. People often, like you said, don't plan for that postpartum period, and they don't realize that there's so much that they can do for prevention and that early intervention of any postpartum challenges, whether it's healing physically or postpartum depression or other mental health challenges. We just, like you said, think that it's not going to happen to us, or we think that there's nothing that we can do about it. We just have to let things happen. And that's not the case. We can really do so much to take care of ourselves on all levels. So Eva, thank you for having this conversation with me today.
Thank you for being here, and I love it too because we are really programmed this for, I don't know, a couple of months and we never came through. So we so happy that we could do it today. And besides of having, all aspects emotionally, physically, mentally, you save a lot of money, time, and energy as well. So on the aspect of that, if you want to talk about that, I'm just giving you a really simple example. If you want to, because once you're a mom, you want to live as non-toxic for your child, and the most nourishing non-toxic products for your child. So even if you would do like a little shea butter on their body, or you make a sweet calendula oil, and when after you bathe them and you just rub them, massaging them in, really bond together, and you give them nutrition through the skin. And you can make that by yourself. I also have an ebook. I will link that also below. Is to new moms and especially new parents to make their own herbal remedies, like even their own nappies. So you don't have to buy with a lot of toxic ingredients. So I will put the link as well below.
Oh yeah, you are amazing at that. I love all of your recipes. I told you I tried one recently,
Did you
and
try the elderberry syrup?
Mhm. Yes, I planted an elderberry bush, everybody in my yard this year, and now it's a baby elderberry bush, and so I
Doesn't
got like
matter.
a
You
bag,
did it.
but it was great. I did it, and I actually used it. I did it before I went on my trip, so I spent the first week and a half or so of September in Germany studying for my prenatal bonding BA program, right? And so before I went on the trip, because I was going to have really long plane rides there and back. And so I made the elderberry syrup before that. And elderberry has been something I've used, but I've always bought, and so it was so beautiful to make it myself and to use that before I left. And I stayed completely healthy, of course, the entire time. And yeah, I absolutely love it. And so that's the other thing is, it doesn't stop, like you said, at the postpartum. I mean, this is a lifelong journey. And so setting yourself up and your household up for that optimal health and well-being is always a good thing. And so, yeah, definitely check out those recipes, how you can make those things yourself. They're really easy. It was so simple. It
And
was
how
not a
empowering did you feel when you made it?
very
Like,
empowered. Yeah, I loved it. It was great. And now I know why, yeah, your kids are always like, oh, I want more of that because it tastes really good too.
yeah, it's really tasty. So, just a little bit of a backstory around this. We did a couple of months ago around cold and flu season. We talked about optimal health, and I shared a couple of recipes there, and she made one of them. So like elderberry syrup, and it's one of our faves in the home. And you have so many different things you can make with elderberries, like elderberry syrup, elderberry gummies, elderberry glycerides, oxymels. It's endless. Once you enter the world of herbs, it's truly endless. And once you learn how to make them, it feels, as I just asked Jodie, it feels like so empowered, so confident that you can make it. And there is a lot of misinformation out there. And then you would maybe say, like, okay, why should I go to you or to Jodie or to anyone else if I can get it on the web for free? The truth is, we've been studying a lot of hours. We experimented with a lot of things, and in my case, with herbs. So you will get it straight from the source, but from an expert source.
Absolutely. And it will be customized to you. That's the thing
Exactly.
you talked about earlier too, is that when you work with us, yeah, it's thousands of hours of education and experience of what works. And then that customization piece too. When you work with
Exactly.
someone directly, you get that. You don't get that when you just, Google something. And like you said, there's the trial and error piece, where we've been there, we've done that, and we've had so much success ourselves and with other people in these areas. And so that
Yeah.
is a really good point. So thank you for bringing that up. And thank you for dropping that in the comments as well. I think everyone's going to enjoy that ebook. So,
Okay, I wanted to close up, but before we're going to close up, I want you to give me a sec, because you always know I love to do that on the end.
Are we picking a card?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, we do. So we're going to do whichever you decide.
Oh, okay. Let's do the one with the lights on the back. The other
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one.
Perfect. Let's see what our end message is. Always beautiful. So we can close this beautiful up. And the thing is, it already popped up. Besides of the expert guidance, you get the accountability. We really have that accountability, that unconditional support and love without judgment. That is really important. And that is what truly, and as I'm saying, I'm getting goosebumps, that's what you truly see in the transformation you go through. It's not just, oh, I'm going to pick with this one because they're cheaper, or maybe this one. No, the true value is we are walking with you hand in hand, so you feel confident, secure, and safe. And by the end of this whole bridge that we provide you, you will be so much better in all aspects of your life. That will
Absolutely.
be forever in your life, because the tools that we will provide you are not just for postpartum, but for general, a lot of years over to come.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh,
Yeah.
wow. So the word is me. Me.
Okay.
I allow serenity to reign in me. The love I have for myself invites harmony to settle within my being. I listen to, honor, and strive to fulfill the needs of my soul.
That is so perfect for what we were just talking about, of taking care of yourself on all levels. So thank
Exactly.
you for that beautiful gift at the end
I'm going
there. And thank
to give that as well in the comment section so everybody can read it on their own time.
Perfect. Yes. So we'll make sure everything's in the comments. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us and for watching. And please reach out to us directly with any questions. Put those in the comments or send us DMs. And Eva, as always, it was wonderful spending some time with you today. And
Love
I'm
you.
sure we'll be talking soon. Love you too, my friend.
Yes.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care. Have a great evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
Wherever you are. Absolutely. Bye.